Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Absolute Superman Volume 1, Last Dust of Krypton. And before I get into this, there's a little bit of Absolute DC news that DC launches a massive Absolute Universe reprint wave as demand continues to surge, doing like an 11th reprinting of like Absolute Batman issue 1 and like other ones as well, all due out on March 4th. 8th reprinting of like Absolute Wonder Woman volume issue 1 and 7th of Absolute Superman issue 1, and then reprintings of like Absolute Flash, Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. So this is doing pretty good for him. So that's good, and I enjoyed this one. I'm versed with Jason Aaron as a comics writer, and I'm like, okay, what's he gonna do here with Superman? And I actually, it's funny that I got Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Batman, and Absolute Superman, and I'm like, I like all three. Like I tried out the Ultimate ones, and I only mainly stuck with Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man, and Ultimate Black Panther was all right. Ultimate X-Men, I'm like, all right, what's going on here? This, I liked it. They kept the core of Superman, of Krypton, and everything like that, and then kind of changed it a little bit. So instead of being sent as a baby to the Kents, he comes pretty much teen adult-ish, 20 years, and he spends a good portion of his time on Krypton with his parents, working class, dealing with kind of the crazy shit that's going on with Krypton, dealing with AI being taught in school, and being like, oh, just use the AI thing. It's like, But the thing is, it kind of balances it of the stupidity of like, oh, just let the AI thing do it, while having an AI helping his suit of what's kind of going on. And that's another kind of change. So let's get into this a little bit. Let's see here. Damn, that's kind of crazy one there. So pretty much showing that like Krypton's ruled by cities, and that it's like pretty much a techno cyberpunk hellscape, pretty much. We do also have farms and stuff, but Krypton has been completely and environmentally fucked over. Name dropping Candor, lab grown gardens, lava powered energy plants. Cities worked the clerics of the Science League, harnessing the energies of the Red Sun and the planet itself to fuel their insatiable hunger for progress at all costs. They were the Kryptonian ruling class, the most venerated minds on the planet, and my parents were not among them. Of course, we see that they weren't among that ruling class, which is a kind of change up from what we've seen from the other one. From the normal kind of universe, we see them trying to help out this farmer dude as like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? Talking about like rain bill, where they're actually controlling the weather of who gets what and how much. Talking about the rain kind of showing up. Paid a lot of crim for this rain. Don't you want to get your money's worth? In school, my mother, Laura Lorvon, was an exemplary student destined for great things, everyone said, until she wrote an essay criticizing Krypton's lack of funding for interstellar exploration. For this, she was labeled unruly and forbidden from ever applying to the Science Academy. She was 9 years old. She wanted to be an astronaut. It's like, yeah, if your whole thing is like, I want to go out into space. So you're like, yeah, why aren't we doing more deep space travel? It's like, fuck you. It's like, 9-year... Oh, yeah. Fuck off, all you assholes. The class structure on Krypton defined all aspects of life. At its pinnacle reigned the Science League. Class distinctions were of such importance that citizens were required to wear their status at all times. The crest of the laborer was seen as a mark of shame, the sign of the poor and unskilled. We were the children of the sun, they said, those who made their way with their own two hands. On the bottommost rung, oh, yeah. Yeah, we had like the Labor Guild. People like my parents wore it with pride. We were the people of steel, doing it up kind of like that. It's like, okay. So, of course, we see that he's tried to figure out what's kind of going on in this mind. It's like, no, just fucking let it go. Who gives a shit about the safety concerns? talking about like stress markers and stuff. It's like, I've got a pretty good idea about this. And of course, this one dude's like, look at my chest symbol, you asshole. It's like, alright, whatever. My father, Jor-El, was set to graduate the Science Academy with impeccable marks. A high-ranking position in the ruling class awaited him. At his graduation ceremony, he gave a speech condemning what he saw as the Science League's environmental recklessness. Their pillaging of Krypton's natural resources was endangering the planet, he warned, and without drastic reforms could someday lead to global catastrophe. My father was laughed out of his graduation, out of his position in the Science League, out of his life as he knew it. But he was right, as everything's going gnarly doo-dah run. But the thing is, we then see that shit going gnarly and pretty much killing people, melting the motherfucker's face right off, kind of shit. Jor-El's the only one who gets out. So we see, of course, Krypton's doomed, but then we get to Earth to Brazil, as we see the Lazarus Corporation trying to force all these people to do mining shit. And of course, they were trying to leave the conditions, but they're like, you ain't leaving, motherfucker, and keeping them to do the stuff at gunpoint. Roughly like $300 more than a month, $300 more than a month's pay. This while working a mine that extracted 200 million worth of carats the previous year. And of course, we then see them go in and see that like there's diamonds and everything, and they're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, okay, somebody went in and did all this kind of stuff. Seeing that Superman is trying to figure out what's kind of going on. Of course, this one dude is pretty much trying to like talk to him. Say like, hey, why don't you come and eat with us and stuff like that. We'll face the whole kind of shit that's going on in the mines. And I do like the paneling and paging. Like, that we kind of get the background. Okay, see, this is kind of just like almost a little bit transparent. Not transparent completely, but like we get the background of the page to then set us up here. Kind of like what we get here. It's like, ooh, that's kind of cool. I did that. And he's able to kind of speak their language. I think more help with like the AI. And they're saying that he's seen wonders of the world, and I've seen a lot of places like this, industries that run on suffering. How do you know which is the truth? You know, when you have what is worth fighting for, that is the truth. And what if you have nothing? I have to go. More work to do, but thank you. Work, what do you mean? You have, hello? Then, of course, Lazarus is like, I don't believe that you got all that kind of shit. As they're the kind of peacemaker kind of motherfuckers. Is like, oh shit. Warning, peacemakers approaching. Conflict imminent. Solar charging suspended. Initiating wake-up procedures. I should have been gone. It's like, okie dokie. They're, of course, doing stupid-ass shit and trying to pretty much take down the workers. On to the next mine. Next corporate pig farm or sweatshop factory. Years of running all across this planet. From the jungle to the big waters to whatever you call those places that are nothing but sand. And it's always the same. Always misery. Always Lazarus. Except this time I've left myself weak and sun-starved. Dreaming of a time so long ago when I still knew who I was. Kal-El, huh? And then, of course, we see people getting hurt and he just blasts in. I really like how it shows him kind of busting through and using his powers and everything. Maybe it's for the best I hadn't already left, because after years of watching these people treat the poorest and lowliest among them as little more than cattle, I've gotten tired of running. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Superman, do you shit. Now, he's not really, really weak. It's not like he's completely depowered or anything like that, but we're kind of building up to that kind of stuff. And we see that he's talking to his suit. That he should kind of like get out of here, watch his shit. And talking about that these people are never safe. And I kind of like how it's like changed up and like different kind of paneling on that. If Lazarus won't pay you, you should take those the diamonds to someone who will. But please, just get everyone out of here before Kal must leave now. Kal-El. But then we see him getting pretty much like taser locked by these Reaper drones. It's like, shit. He's utilizing his, he's not really able to control his power and utilizing it to kind of blast down shit. It's like, oh god. As everything's kind of falling around him, I was like, fucking shit. Some worlds simply cannot be saved from themselves. It's like, yep. Then we see tanks and everything going on, and then we see someone lock themselves to him. It's like, what the fuck? This is Agent Lane, suspect in custody. So this is another kind of change up. Lois Lane isn't a reporter at this point. We'll see that as the volume kind of goes on. She's an agent working for Lazarus, kind of following in her father's footsteps. Of course, threatening to blast his face. Next issue gives us a look at Brainiac. It's like, oh, okay, he's kind of linked with Lazarus. Well, now, what have we here? As we see Bottled Cities screaming, a scrumptious new toy. Wonder where you came from. Of course, looking at the Kents and being the property of Lazarus, it's like, okay, that's gotta be linked up there. As we then see that they're trying to figure out what's kind of going on. Jor-El kind of popping back in and being like, what? Where's our son? Seeing, of course, Kal-El and Crypto. It's like, yay! It's like, we'll get through this together, but we start seeing the environmental damage popping through. It's like, shit. So, we see him... this is where we get seeing the whole thing with the AI, him doing his schoolwork, but they're being kind of stupid. Did you source this directly from the cleric's luminarium, didn't you? I wrote it. Cal, I can't see you. Please speak up. I wrote it. You wrote this yourself? That's... Cal, the Luminarium contains all knowledge of the Science League from throughout Kryptonian history. Can answer any questions we might ever possibly ask. Why would you... And it's kind of the worst case kind of scenario of Zoom call / oh, cite your sources. Like, yeah, but... the cite your sources AI kind of stuff of, oh, this is the only thing that we need to do, and ask it and it'll give it, and you just vomit it up. It's like, that's not school and that's not learning. Good on you, Kal-El, for writing it. We then shift back and, oh god, the art's really good too. It does a good job of like close-up faces and action and shit. Let me just, you can't break this. Put your hand behind your back. I can't break this. Put your hand behind your back. What are these cuffs made of? Cuffs, Cal. You are weakened. You are vulnerable here. I'm chuffed to hear. I'm cuffed to her. What do you want me to do? Rip her arm? As she keeps blasting him. I will deal with the handcuffs. This is Agent Lane. Target's suit is reactive. It's crawling up my arm. Just don't hurt her. Cal, I am not the one you should be worried about. And we see it like kind of going through. It's like, ooh, this suit's definitely kind of different. It's interesting for him to have pretty much an AI-powered suit that's not, well, that's actual AI and not just like, oh, ChatGPT this shit. And that his suit does a lot of weird, interesting stuff as well. This is a cool two-pager as they start kind of like blasting at him, but it's not really working out well. As we see his dust cape, which is not an actual cape. And the suit's like, huh, this metal keeps reforming itself faster than I can sever it. This'll take a little time. I love this. Stop doing that. Oh, so now you're talking to me. Yes, because you're making it very difficult to save your life. Lazarus doesn't want you dead. Just on your knees. Do it and this'll all be over. The chuffs, cuffs, and not yet. Then use the dust to hold on to her. Hey, talk to me, pal. I'm right here. I'm the only one who can help you. Don't let this tear her in half. What? As he fucking blasts off at you like, oh, goddamn, fuck. As they pretty much bound around, and that's a really badass shot there of him carrying her as they kind of get through the area. But she, of course, shoots him again. Jammer transmission already done. Of course, they're still able to kind of get a bead on them as he's like chucking shit at him like, fuck off, asshole. And then she's like, never mind me, just go. And then we see that she makes these reports as he's kind of going around and saving people. And Let's see. My first thought was that it had to be the suit, but while the subject advanced battle suit does display otherworldly properties, possibly including some level of sentience, after direct observation, this agent can say with profound certainty it isn't the suit. This Superman is plenty super all on his own. The full extent of subject's powers remain uncharted. So that's kind of cool. He's not completely weakened, but he might not know the complete extent of his powers at this point. It is my impression that even he does not fully understand the limits of his abilities, as if this is all relatively new to him as well. In some ways, Superman is very much still a boy, one who hasn't yet fully deciphered who he is. In other ways, he's every bit a man, with an ethos that seems unshakable, and that is just badass. Seeing she actually is also helping him help people, and him carrying people with his sunstone cape. It's okay, don't be afraid of the dust. Subject switches from a shy, soft-spoken demeanor to a more confident, commanding presence, depending on the circumstance, without either facet coming across as an affectation, which is cool. And that links up with Superman as well. This feels like a man who cannot help but be earnest, who could never lie even if he needed to. We know that from other sightings that he has traveled the globe. He speaks multiple languages. Somehow he still has the air of a lost child. That seems to be kind of there. Of a life in some way interrupted, of a son without a home, a deep mistrust of authority seems ingrained. Suspect will prove quite difficult to coerce or apprehend. Despite repeated attempts, this agent never really had a chance, and she pretty much just keeps the gun holstered. Seeing him utilize his ice breath, it's like, okay, you really got this now, Lane. And then, of course, bringing up that he is from a different kind of planet before his suit is able to get the cuff off as he blasts off. You are alone with the subject for an extended period of time. What is your frank and honest appraisal of Superman? Well, how grave of a danger would you rank the subject on a scale of 1 to 10? I wouldn't rank him as a danger at all. Not in that way. He's incredibly powerful, yes, and still raw in some ways, but I don't think he's looking for a fight. He doesn't strike me as someone we ought to. Ranking of 8. So noted. What? No, that's not what I... Do you feel that the threat he poses warrants neutralization? Or can Superman be controlled? No, he can't be controlled. He's not... Agent advises termination. So noted. As she's pretty much... as we see Earth's whole thing with Brainiac, kind of AI, where Brainiac is pretty much going through the motions and being like, oh, okay, I'm just going to tell you what I think and just rubber stamp your name on it. Stupid computer. The Brainiac algorithm thanks you. And we see her kind of dealing with and going into more of like writing what she needs to think about. And then we see on Krypton that the suit, exploratory spacesuit and rocket ship all in one. Pretty much showing the building of Superman's suit that he kind of deals with. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And how it can like transform and do different kind of shit. It's like, alright, that's pretty cool. As Cal plays with Crypto outside. Then we see him pretty much hit Venezuela, and then her being Lois Lane kind of like writing up all of her stuff that's going on. But then we see that certain peacekeepers are getting agitated with being able to be pretty much taken down by fucking Superman, and they're like, teach them that peace has a price, as they start going up against other, like, just unarmed people. And we see that Cal was happy on Krypton, even though they're like all the stupid kind of shit that was going on in the school. God. And of course, this looks like a red Fortress of Solitude, which is actually pretty kind of cool there. He doesn't have a fortress at the moment. Of course, talking about that, he had a message. They had a message from their teacher, and that you've been refusing to utilize the luminarium. Talking about like the traditions and everything, that it's affecting his grades. And when it comes right down to it, we really just have one thing to say to you, Cal. Keep it up. What, really? I don't care what your grades say. You're the sharpest, most caring kid in the whole world. We trust you to find your own path. We can't tell you it'll be an easy road going against the ways of the Science League. No, it won't. But you have a chance. You have to chase your passion in life, Cal, wherever it leads you. Do that with all your heart, at all costs, and I promise you'll be unstoppable. I don't know what I want to do, but whatever it is, I already know where it'll lead me. Right here. And it's really kind of cool to see him supported by his parents like that. It's like, yeah, there you go. And of course, they're seeing everything that's kind of going on with the planet, kind of going gnarly. We see more animals and everything getting killed as they're working their hardest. And even Cal is able to figure out what's kind of going on and be like, oh shit, this isn't good. And of course, Cal kind of sends it to the school board. But then they had kind of deleted everything from his tablet remotely and an appointment set for his parents to see the school administrator. It's like, oh god. As they're kind of visiting and everything. But he, of course, is visiting this kind of place on a school trip. And his father is, like, arrested already. It's like, shit. And he, of course, is trying to stop them from, like, doing shit to his dad. Of course, runs home to pretty much tell his mom what's going on. His mom goes badass mode. And that's fucking great artwork there. It's like, I'm going to go do some shit. I'm going to get your dad back. That is really great there. It's like, all right, do it. And she pretty much busts in blazing with Crypto in tow, by the way. Good dog. Crypto? Where's Laura? Don't tell me she... And of course, she's blasting in like a badass. Great fucking art. Guess the suit works. You're an idiot. Let's go home, my love. Wait. Where's Cal? Hey. Tell me your login code and I'll ask my mom not to shoot you anymore. My mother was marching through the central law offices of Kandor, blasting away. The place should have been swarming with shock troops and judge generals. Why wasn't it? No law guildsmen. No clerics in their towers. Where were the ruling class of Krypton? Whoa, starships? Since when do the clerics care about space? Oh my row. And of course we see that everybody had pretty much left and they're trying to figure out how to kind of help the rest of the people. Yes, but Cal, how did you... And you want to shoot me into space to save me. Me, all alone wearing Mom's spacesuit from when she was a kid. But I'm not going, not without you. Oh, Cal, you amazing kid. You're mostly right. We never shoot you into space by yourself. It's like, thank God. We're going together. Badass shit. Yeah. See, this is good because I like that the art is able to hit the action of Superman and also do the sci-fi craziness of, like, this fucking ship. It's like, you kind of want to be able to do both. Of course, they're like, yep, we're going to be doing this. And they're like, where are we going? And of course, we then check in with Martha Kent. It's like, oh shit, Angel, where did you go? Fly back to me, my sweet angel boy. Back to where you belong. As we see that she's pretty much in a senior living home, and has some kind of like dementia thing going on. So they're pretty much trying to figure out what's going on. Like Lazarus is still kind of investigating all these different kind of places where Superman have been and trying to get people to help them out. Well, we see that Lane is the one that's investigating and then finding out that peacekeepers are doing disgusting ass shit and decides to pretty much like fuck this dude up completely. I mean, tasing him in the mouth, breaking his fucking hand in the fucking Vulcan peace sign. It's like, god damn. But Lane's like, listen, I'm not here to be a bad person on this. Then getting pretty much called by the general as him saying and checking in with him and be like, listen, you got to take this motherfucker out. And linking up with the Omega Men. Now this is interesting because this links up with Jimmy as we are going through with this and where he's from. Now Omega is a linked up thing with the Omega symbol and the N for Darkseid. So it's like, okay, what's going to be going on here? They're the kind of freedom fighters kind of going up against from the Omega Men. Bunch of fellas in it wearing masks, jabbering something about freedom. Couldn't make out much of the particulars over the bandsaw. After that, only community interfacing I gave a damn about weighed 2,000 pounds and came out of a sky laser guided. Fear's a hell of a lot safer point man than trust every time. You remember that, Lois? I remember Sergeant Paulson, Dad. You made me watch that video when I was 12. Just take care of yourself out there, darling. Damn Omega terrorists are everywhere. What's this I hear about you insisting on writing your own reports all of a sudden? You know the Brainiac system can. Gotta go, Dad. It's like, okay. Seeing the Omega Men coming and walking around and trying to figure out what's kind of going on. And of course, Brainiac is just feeding into this Peacemaker delusion, asshole. And of course, he wants to talk to a real person that could have probably helped him through certain kind of shit, but like he's like, no. This concludes your therapy session. It's like, oh shit. And this is when we get introduced to Jimmy, and it's like, okay. I think you're one of the Omega Men here to kill me. Okay, it's sort of what you think. I'm not here to kill you. Good, because you seem really bad at that. Keep your hands where I can see them. I know what you've been told about us, Agent Lane, but Lazarus is built on lies. I mean, you're a smart woman. Haven't you ever wondered if you're really on the right side? And then kind of like fights her a little bit before kind of getting taken down a little bit. Well, not, yeah. And she is starting to kind of realize that Lazarus isn't good. As we start to learn what Lazarus is, Omega Prime will take it from here. And of course, she's like, oh, that's pretty badass there. It's like, holy shit. Of course, they start going crazy. It's like, no, you fucking asshole. And of course, we see Omega Prime, Primus, who's evidently an old friend of the family, asking how the general is being shorter. Alpha, I told you to fall back. What the hell do you think you're doing? Are you pointing that gun at me or her? I'm not sure. I just think we all need to take a moment to what the hell? And of course, that's when Superman kind of pops up and like, yeah, what's kind of going on here? And of course, the Omega Men are interested in him as well. And he gets into with Lois. It's like, okay, stop looking for me. I just want to talk. I have nothing to say to you. Then I'll do the talking. But please, just give me a moment of your on the ground. It's like, okay. And then just pretty much freezes him. Wait, no, not again. Don't you. And of course, he's getting just blasts off. Whoa, damn it. And of course, the Lazarus men, or the Peacekeepers, are being pretty much shown as being ineffectual, and that's just fucking them up. Primus is like, Jimmy, fuck off. And of course, Jimmy feels that Lane can be convinced. It's like, okay, so what's going to go on here? And then looking at Superman and be like, alright, and then he fucking goes completely and utterly off, killing people after he gets out of the fucking thing. And it's like, you asshole. Let's see, 4. So we pretty much see the end days of Krypton in this one, as everything's going gnarly. People want to get off. And then, of course, we also get into Pakistan with the Peacekeepers, and Superman is pretty much having enough of them doing their kind of shit. Gun down for the ungivable crime of laughing at a man with a gun. No one is laughing now as he's pretty much melting the armor. It's like, holy fucking shit. He isn't here. Where is he, Soul? Accessing the Lazarus database, Cal. Once again, I strongly advise against this. Find him! The Lazarus Corp cyber defenses are of a sophistication beyond this planet's natural capabilities. Peacemaker Smith's whereabouts are heavily encrypted, which shows that there's other forces at play. And here's like, okay. Of course, he's like, please don't kill me. He's like, alright, I can't become them. It's like, alright, cool. We're seeing Superman dealing with his feelings and trying to help these people, but also trying not to become them. Of course, he's able to find him. It's like, oh shit. Before shifting back out and seeing him trying to get back as the planet is going like this and getting fucked up. Kandor being in a shitty position as well. And just everything kind of going to shit. but him being able to get onto the ship with his parents and everything before the ship gets pretty much screwed off and ejected. Do not be afraid, Cal. I am Sol, your exploratory spacesuit. I will protect you. It's like, holy fucking shit. And then we see this work with all other kind of ones as well, pretty much making little mini ships for themselves. Him still being pretty much by himself and seeing his parents and then trying to blast off and then pretty much being alone as things go completely and utterly crazy. This is an insane shot of it kind of blowing up. It's like, shit. And him just being by himself and dealing with that, it's just like, oh god, man. And then him being on Earth. Cal, I don't understand. As I told you, I was close to uncovering the location of Forget Smith. I don't want to know where he's hiding, because if I know, I'm afraid of Lazarus. Given what I've learned about Brainiac, I can promise you this fear is warranted. No, if I get my hands on Smith, I'm afraid of what I might do to him as his eyes glow red. Right now, I just need to be alone, and mostly, I need to be reminded, Soul. Reminded of what, Cal? Of home. Going to Kansas. So, we see in this last issue that Cal was dealing and growing even kind of more exponentially into kind of teenage state and just being like, shit, as they're scanning locations, and then of course finally hitting on Earth as he's dealing with like the changes that he's able to endure. So we then get a look at the Kents, and we're seeing Ma and Pa Kent pretty much doing their stuff, trying to hold out against Lazarus and keep the farm themselves, even though they're doing their damnedest to fuck him over, pretty much similar to Krypton, and him just being like, holy fucking shit! Ah! Having powers and everything like that, Soul having to power down is like, he doesn't know how to speak the language, and they're like, what the fucking shit? Of course, Martha is more of like calling him an angel and figuring out what's kind of going on as they kind of deal with him. It's like, goddamn motherfucking shit. As he's kind of like blasting off and trying to deal with having his powers and everything. And that he kind of still feels like at home at Kansas 2 weeks later, helping out Pa Kent, lifting up tractors and shit and trying to help him. Martha being like, that you saved my Jonathan. I was worried I'd lose him when we lose this farm. You helped him remember who he is. That man would have made one hell of a father. Thank you for saving Martha. I'd worried without the farm she wouldn't have any nothing left to mother, and well, I didn't think she could stand losing no more babies. I don't know what you are or where you came from, and I ain't never heard no language sounds nothing like what the one you speak, but I know a farmer's boy when I see one, and I know you came here searching for something. Might just be it's the same thing we was looking for too, and I just hope, well, I hope we can maybe find it together, as they're both like saying thank you to him, and it's like, okay. It's like, this is of course going to be a Lazarus one, as he's kind of like helping him out. It's like the suit's able to power up, and he's able to speak to them. My name is Kal-El. I fixed your tractor. My god, Kal-El. Such a lovely name. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Kal-El. I'm Martha Kent. This is my husband, Jonathan. My god, you said that already, John. Kent? And then, of course, we see that Lazarus starts popping up and fucking utilizing their own weather tech to fuck over shit as well. Well, their stuff was fucked over, but then he was able to pretty much kind of screw over their drones. And, of course, 1. Report suspected terrorist activity. 2. Report immigration violation. 2. Of course, aliens and stuff like that. It's like, alright. And they tried to take his ass, but of course, Soul's like, I can't let that happen. And the Kents just be like, listen, go. It's the best case for him. And of course, he fucking hates it. He's like, god damn it. And then we hear, I'd spent months weeping for Krypton, for everything I'd lost, but that day the tears were different. I'd wept for the world I'd found, the one I could already tell I wouldn't be able to save any more than I had the last. For almost 5 more years I would run, to other farms far away, to factories and mines, cities where the people were piled on top of each other like trash, and islands where you could stay for days and never see another soul. But nowhere stayed safe, not for long, and no place felt so much like home, as the home that might have been. It's like, god damn. Fuck, man. And And of course, Lane is trying to get in to see Martha Kent. It's like, I'm a friend of the family. Of course, we then switch into Nevada, seeing that Brainiac is on to Lane. She's required. Agent Lane is quite the dogged investigator. She's required barely any coaxing on my part, just a nudge, really. Then all the pieces are in place. Oh yes, I believe they are. I must say, I've often doubted your methods, Brainiac, along with your very sanity. Heh, you would not be the first. But deliver what you have promised me, and you ensure your place in the world that is coming. Of course, sir, I'm just happy to be a servant to the higher cause. So say we all. Lazarus Pit deactivating. Salvation is close at hand for billions upon billions. Once the Superman kneels at the feet of his holy father, Ra's al Ghul, it's like, oh shit! So, of course, we know that Lazarus has normally been linked up with the Lazarus Pit of Ra's al Ghul. That kneeling is, of course, echoing stuff that's mainly on with Zod. It is interesting to have Ra's be the first kind of antagonistical force that Superman would deal with on Earth, when he is normally linked up more with Batman. So, I've liked him dealing with Earth and the kind of corpo tech for Lazarus, and pretty much being kind of more on the back foot here. He still has support among the people that he's helped, and it's growing as the day goes on. And he is also gaining the confidence of Agent Lane and getting her to question what's going on, and also is inspiring Jimmy Olsen as well. I do like that he got more time to spend with his parents, even though it was still pretty brief, as Krypton is pretty much the precursor of what we are doing here. It will be intriguing. I definitely like to see his power set, how he interacts with his suit. It'll be interesting to see how Ra's al Ghul, being his antagonistical kind of force in this one, works out, because mythological wise, Wonder Woman is still stuck to pretty much kind of Greek mythology. Batman still sticks to the typical kind of rogues gallery that he's got at this point. This is more of a kind of change. I do like that he's more hope focused and trying to keep himself in check, like the typical kind of Superman stuff that we usually see. Him fighting Ra's is going to be a different one. I'll have to see how it kind of works out. I like Jason Aaron. I like what he did with Thor. I enjoyed some of his stuff that was going on with the Avengers, but I felt that it kind of got to the point where it's like going a little bit too long, so that's why I kind of fell off on his run for that, even though there were a lot of different kind of characters that I liked in this, in that. But I like his handle on Superman. He's got the core down and then is able to change it, like I talked about with Absolute Batman, where you get the core of the character and then you just nudge certain kind of things that we haven't had before. Having him not really stay at the Kents, him going through the world and pretty much trying to keep himself under wraps because of how this universe operates. I'm really intrigued to see what Raz's endgame plans are for Superman, and what his kind of relationship is with Brainiac, and what Brainiac's kind of objectives are, because Brainiac didn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, if his objectives are that he doesn't really care that someone's over top of him, we'll have to see about that, but I don't think he would really like that much. So, those are my opinions on the volume. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.